I'm in the USA, and I'm in Salt Lake City, and I'm outside the historic Rio Grande Station. This is the beginning of my 2-week trip from Salt Lake City to Denver, tracing as much Rio Grande history as I can, with a few other things as well. It's a really great trip, so please make sure you're subscribed and save the playlist as well, the Grand Tour. Grand with an E, because of Rio Grande. See what I did there? Anyway, let's quickly see how I got to Salt Lake City. Friday, 7th of July, I got a bus from Bristol to London Heathrow. I dumped my bags in the hotel, and I made my way into London to see Iron Maiden. Got back to the hotel at 1 AM and crashed out for a few hours sleep, where I was up at 5 AM for my flight to Chicago. Then I stayed in Chicago for 6 hours. 2 of those hours were in passport control, which is normal for America, and then I flew to Salt Lake City just in time for sunset on Saturday night. Now I did intend to get straight down to Rio Grande Station, as I know the main sign lights up, and I wanted to see it at night. However, I had been told that the area isn't that nice at the moment, and there's a lot of homeless around the area. So I only had a little peek from a few streets down, and the sign wasn't on anyway. I guess to not encourage people to that direction at night, as it is a bit less than safe. So I had a quick peek, went back to my hotel, and I went and have a proper look on Sunday morning. The address is 300 South Rio Grande Street. The Rio Grande in its earlier form rolled into town in the 1880s, but this building didn't appear until 1910. Apparently, it was designed intentionally to upstage the nearby Union Pacific Station, and it was designed by architect Henry Schlacks of Chicago, who had designed a number of churches around Chicago, and he also designed the Rio Grande Station at Grand Junction as well, which we'll see at a later date. Now let's move trackside, which is the western side of the building. Here's how it used to look when it had tracks. Notice locomotive 5771. We'll see that at a later date as well. From 1986 up until the station's closure in 1999, Amtrak made it their station for Salt Lake City, and continued the legacy of the Rio Grande by having services such as the California Zephyr running through. Sadly, the building has been derelict since 2020, where an earthquake caused some damage, and any businesses inside had to move out, including the very popular Rio Grande Cafe. I think the cafe was possibly outgrowing its space anyway. I really hope the building sees some life again soon. Really deserves it. So the track side of the building faces west, down the street towards the Utah Transit Authority headquarters, where just in front they've got a bus station and a tram station. Sorry, trolley station. I think Americans say trolley more often. To me, a trolley is what you push around a supermarket and put your shopping in. The main railroad does come through, of course, as well, so if you want to pick up the California Zephyr, this is where you'd go now. Let's have a little peek at Google Earth just to get our bearings. So here's Rio Grande Station. Over here is the Utah Transport Authority. Now you can clearly imagine where the tracks used to be as you lead up this way towards where the tracks are still. Then backtrack just a little bit. One street over to the east, and that is Union Pacific Station. It's harder to imagine where the tracks were, as it's obviously a lot more built up, but that's where it is. So this building's only 1 year older than the Rio Grande Station. This station closed to passengers in 1986 when Amtrak switched over to the Rio Grande building, after they'd been using it as their station since 1977. Union Pacific did continue to use some of the building as offices and such, but the building has been used for a restaurant and also a live music venue, and I think it's currently being turned into a hotel. Now I couldn't hang around for long because I had to drive to Ely, Nevada in the afternoon, So I had to get lunch and move on. So where better to go for lunch, I thought, than Rio Grande Cafe. Yep, this is their new premises after having moved from Rio Grande Station, and it's an old fire station. And quite a nice looking building it is too. The food is Mexican, and I went for one of their combo meals, so you get 2 different mains on your plate. They did put me upstairs on my own, which was a bit weird because it wasn't exactly busy downstairs, but oh well. It still says trackside dining, but there's no tracks nearby. Anyway, I had to get going. I had a few hours drive to do, westward towards Ely, Nevada, to see some interesting stuff. And I saw some interesting stuff along the way too. So, please make sure you're subscribed, like, comment, any kind of interaction is helpful, and make sure you've saved the playlist, of which this video is the first one in the playlist, the Grand Tour. There's lots of interesting and entertaining stuff to come, I hope. So, thank you for watching, see you in the next one.